Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here. New episode. Why you should never work for or with Jehovah Witnesses. Little moment. We changed the episode in why it's difficult to work with or for Jehovah Witnesses. It's a better theme, I think. It's less judgmental. But it's based on my own experiences, so don't take my word for it. But it's difficult to work with Jehovah Witnesses. I had two jobs when I was a teenager, from 15 to 22 years. I worked for a brother who had his own cleaning company. Very relaxed brother. Went on vacations a lot. He was alone. He did nice things. He had a nice car, nice motorcycle, and he enjoyed life. Was not that hardcore JW who only thinks about the ministry. So he was enjoying life. I worked for him from age of 15 in high school all the way to around 22, 23 years old, next to my master's degree, my study, my college, how you call it. So it was a fun thing. He gave me a car, work car. I had to manage my own time. I get things I had to do in a certain week, and I could just make my own time work as long as I wanted, but the work had to be done at the end of the week. So that was a cool job, but later on, when I was moving to the congregation of my ex-wife at this moment, I moved to another city about 100 kilometers from where I grew up. I knew no one, only my family-in-law and my fiancée at that moment. So I moved to a whole different city, and someone offered me work, a brother in her congregation. And they were in the mortgage business, giving out loans to people for a mortgage or a loan to buy a car, whatever, a new kitchen, whatever you want. So that are my two jobs. I worked for a brother. And in those two jobs, I was thinking about it this morning, that it was also a strange thing, because after that I decided I'm never gonna work for a brother again. So why should you not work with Jehovah Witnesses? One of them is they always think they get a special treatment, the most important one. When I was younger, I was just 18, I had my driver license. There was a special pioneering couple in our congregation. No, not special pioneering, but they were assigned to our congregation from Bethel. They had to leave Bethel because they got children. She got pregnant. So they were coming into our congregation, and immediately he became an elder, of course, but he was also, it was for him a normal thing that we as a congregation gave him work. So he was not searching for work in the outside world, but it was normal for him that people in the congregation gave him work. So then he joined our cleaning company because we had plenty of work. So at one day he was assigned to me, and we were cleaning out apartments and stuff like that, hallways. And I remember we were about 50, 100 kilometers from our home, because we traveled to the entire country in the Netherlands. So sometimes we had to travel 200 kilometers, sometimes 20, sometimes, but never in the neighborhood where we lived. We were nationally everywhere. Then we had to finish one hallway of a big apartment complex. It was, normally we work from around 7 till 3:30. At exactly 3:15 he started to pack things into the car already to leave exactly at 3:30. So he said, I have to go home. I said, yeah, but we have to finish this one. No, we can do it tomorrow. I said, no, we can't do it tomorrow because then we have to drive back for 1 hour work. So with 2 people, only 30 minutes of work. We have to leave now. We have to go back 100 kilometers. Tomorrow we have to come back 100 kilometers. Yeah, but it's not our problem. I said, no, but it's also our duty to think ahead with the boss, because it's not convenient if you have to travel up and down for just 1 hour work for one guy. Yeah, but I have to go to the meeting and I have to prepare myself and I want to do some research and I have a talk tonight. I said, yeah, that's not my problem, but you took a lunch break. I didn't take a lunch break. I eat just while I was working. If you just make yourselves a little bit mad, in half an hour we can be gone. No, I want to go now. So he was longer arguing with me, and in the meantime we could have finished the job. That was the first red flag for me, that it's difficult, let me put it that way, it's difficult to work with Jehovah Witnesses. They want special treatment. In the other job I also saw it. There were a lot of Jehovah Witnesses working for that brother, including me. And they were expecting from him, the one wants to go earlier to their home on Monday, the other on Tuesday, the other on Thursday. He was going mental because he didn't know when someone left the office just to go home before the meeting, preparing for the meeting. So you are working for somebody and he has to adjust to your standards, to what you think, but they don't think what's reasonable. They don't think that they also have to invest something into the company, that they have to bring something into the company. No, they just want the company to fulfill all their needs for the convention. No, it's not a vacation day. The brother said, yeah, you have to take a vacation day, just like the rest of the company who is worldly. If they want a free day, they have to take a vacation day. No, but we are brothers, so the convention on Friday, it's not a vacation day. Big fights broke out. Why, people? Why? Because you are also a brother or a sister? So you have a special treatment. And what I also saw is the special treatment is they don't want anything to do with celebrations on the workplace. But the New Year's bonus they want. It's also a special treatment. They call it the end of the year bonus or whatever. But a New Year's bonus, they gladly take. If it's money, they are first priority. And the special treatment I saw also is that if someone comes into the company, they think they get a better position than a worldly person. If there is work to be divided on among people, they think they are the manager of that place. And they're gonna act and behave like that. It was strange for me to see. that they think the other people are working for them. There's no equality. No. The we are better mentality, I saw it also back on the workplace. And it was a strange thing to view, because they automatically think, because they are a brother, that they are the ones who take charge of that division or whatever they are. But that's just what I saw in it. Second thing is, if you are a JW employer and you have JW employees, watch out. Why? Because it's also now a matter of the congregation. I had a JW employer. He was in another congregation but in the same city, and I had people, employees in my congregation and in his congregation. And when things are going not how they should go, accordingly to the JWs, then it also is getting a matter of the elders. He had trouble paying people at the end of the month, so he paid a few days later, but was already gossiping in our congregations that he didn't fulfill his duty and blah blah blah, we're gonna take him to court and he's gonna pay, and they were forcing the elders to go and talk to him because he was paying us not on time. So there's when things also go wrong. They often say don't work with family because family ties get affected when you're working together. And that's also true. Not many families are succeeding in working together because there's money involved, and where there's money involved, the best friendships, the best family ties can end in a split second. Look at when people get an inheritance and stuff like that. Then family is out of the window and it's all for one. So if you are a boss, watch out who you employ, because it's getting to be a matter of the congregation. The third thing is avoidance. Avoidance in a way I also experienced, because one of the guys who was working at my division on work, next to me he was working, he was disfellowshipped. Now it's called removed. And I was still talking with him, because on work, when you have to communicate with someone because he's in your team or whatever, you can speak to them. But that's the theoretical side of it. Practice side is that JWs get confused when someone is disfellowshipped, and the whole energy on work, on your workplace, is gonna shift. I saw it. People are talking in the pantries. Oh, did you see it? Oh, he's wearing jeans now. Before he was disfellowshipped, he was there in a suit and tie, and he took things serious, and look at him, he's already going downhill. And so, and all the things people saw at work, they also took with them to the congregation to gossip further with the whole congregation. All the people who didn't were in the neighborhood in the presence of that disfellowship person were up to date with all his stuff. Yeah, and his work is not that good anymore, and you see it, Jehovah is not blessing him, and blah blah blah. So you don't want that. If you are a JW or you are a PMO, whatever, if you work at a workplace and you get disfellowshipped, things are gonna change. And it's not that nice anymore for you on your work. And you want to moving freely on work, to do what you like. So keep that in mind, the avoidance. If someone gets removed, it's gonna be a problem. The fourth one is there is no motivation. Because if you hire someone who is a JW, they have no motivation. They only want their paycheck and they want to do as little as they can to get that paycheck. They're not interested in following some course to give what gives you more qualities, or they don't want you to follow a career. They don't want to grow in that job. They don't want more responsibilities if they have to do something for the job. There are qualifications, but they don't want to meet the qualification of being a manager and stuff like that, because they're not interested in the job at all. They don't care about the job. They only are getting afraid when there's no paycheck at the end of the month. But they want to do as little as they can to get as much money as they can. That's my experience. I've seen it in all the both jobs I did for JWs. And the worst one for me are the pioneers. They think they have no motivation in their job, and they think you're gonna give them some slack, that they are not present on the job because they were busy pioneering, and that you support that. So they just want you to support their ministry service and do as little as they can for you as an employer. Because they are mainly focused on the JW religion. And they have to make some money, so it's the easiest way for them, the laziest way to get money. So they have no motivation. They don't want your company to grow. They don't gonna give you ideas on how to grow a certain division of your company. They don't give you advice on what you can do better to reduce costs or be more efficient or whatever. They're not interested in doing so. And if you are a PMO, my last one is for you guys. It's harder to leave the organization when you are dependent on a JW employer. It's making it yourself a little bit harder because you need money. At the end of the day, you need money. You need money to pay your bills, you need money to live, to eat, to sleep, everything. So if you are working for JW, it's maybe harder for you to find a new job. And if you think it's hard for you to find a new job, you stay at that job because that's a little bit of security. You get your paycheck, that's security. And I understand it completely. But if you don't want to make it that difficult, don't start working for JW if you have doubts in the organization. Because that's an extra step for you to take to be able to exit the religion. And we all have to be honest, money is important. You can't say money isn't important. At the end of the day, number one thing you need in this life is money to eat everything. So if you are a PMO or you're having doubts in the organization, you are starting to think critically about what you're learning and what they do and what they say, don't start working for JW. Even if the salary is good, because it's harder for you to leave. Okay guys, these are just some few points from my experience. I don't know if you guys have experienced that you worked for JW or with other JWs and what you saw. Let me know in the comments. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to see this. And we see each other on the next episode. Have a wonderful weekend, guys.